onto the pavement.
Not at all. ¿Alguien puede ayudar? Can someone help her? Yeah? Porfa.
Muy bien.
Bueno. ¿Quieres café? ¿Tomas café? Ay, Dios mío.
Alright, sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Alex with Unicorn Riot. I'm here in Aurora, Colorado at the Fitzsimons Place Apartment building where the city of Aurora intends to evict and displace about 100 Venezuelan migrant families. And we're about to speak with V, who is one of the community organizers here. V, you can introduce yourself and say what the situation is like this morning.
Yeah, my name is V Reeves, and I'm an organizer at House Keys Action Network Denver. It's actually really beautiful to see the amount of community members that we have who have come out here, who have shown support for the folks who are still here needing to move things out. All of yesterday, all last night, folks were very stressed. There are over 75 children registered in school in this building alone. And so all of the children were really nervous and upset about what would happen this morning. The city had told us that for their own protection, they were going to bring police officers. Last time they came just to notify the residents of the condemning of this building. They brought SWAT team. Basically what's happening in this situation is that this building has been condemned for no fault of the residents. The landlord has been completely neglectful. They're a slumlord. They've treated these people horribly, and they spread rumors that they were afraid to be able to collect pay because they couldn't come and to the building and feel safe. So they were spreading this racist rhetoric that we've been seeing pick up across the nation, and the folks here are totally victims of that racism, and the city has taken on a lot of that racism and how they've been treating folks by only giving them 6 days notice, including 2 days over the weekend, to be able to figure out where to move, find the funds, find the housing, be able to store all their things. Stuff that would be impossible for somebody with all the resources anyways would be incredibly difficult, I should say. And so, you know, folks are scrambling this morning as well. But, you know, we're hoping that the community being here is sending a different message than what the city of Aurora has been sending, which is that migrants are welcome here. We want them to feel comfortable here. We want them to know that this is their city too, and that they belong here, and they're deserving of all the support.
And so the meeting you're saying you had yesterday, was that just with like city officials?
Yeah, there are a lot of organizations collaborating around this, and so a number of folks were in on this meeting with the city. And like I said, we had city officials there. We had the city manager there, Jason Batchelor, Jessica Prosser, director of housing and something and community something. She was also part of that meeting. But basically it sounded like they were going to still come full force with police, knowing that there were all these children here. We had a press conference here where a lot of the families spoke up, and the place was totally like filled with children holding signs and everything next to their parents. And so, you know, we're hoping it's going to be different. We're hoping they got the message loud and clear. As of right now, we're not seeing the heavy police presence that they had brought just to notify people and put notices on their doors. So as of right now, you know, things are looking okay, but still the residents are incredibly stressed. They don't know where they're going to go. The city promised to pay for hotels, but they planned so poorly that if we do get hotels, they're not going to be available till 4 p.m. today, even after they said they're going to close the building and board it up at 7. So we're just waiting to see what happens at this point. And we have a lot of folks helping out and coming together. And yeah.
And I saw that the city, at least like the director of communications, said, like you just said, the city was going to provide temporary hotels for people. What is that? Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about that. They said that they were going to provide a hotel stay potentially till the end of the month, and they said they were also going to provide security deposits. A lot of these folks have paid their rent here, so they're out thousands of dollars. You know, some folks are paying as much as $2,000 or over for these units that are completely falling apart and infested and everything. So folks don't have the funds to immediately move. Then again, it's an even more vulnerable population because there are undocumented people here. And for that reason, without the legal right to work, to somehow come up with the funds to be able to move yourself and your family is incredibly difficult. As much as the community has stepped in to offer support, you know, the city doing their part is essential. Community resources aren't going to be able to cover all these families with cost of storage, transportation, temporary hotel stay, and then rental assistance. And, you know, I think if this was a white, affluent group of people, I think that the city would be reacting totally differently and responding a lot more effectively and providing more support. But because of the demographics of this building, we're just not seeing that support from the city come through as much as needed.
And the city knew for at least 2 years about the issues here and then gave that 6-day notice. Can you talk about that a bit? Yeah,
so there are folks who have been living here for 6 years plus and have been reporting these issues, not just to management, but to the city itself. This was also known at the state level. They even knew about this building, about these issues. And yeah, absolutely, it's ridiculous. It's horrible. It's offensive that they would give folks less than a week of notice. Our team was only able to come here and let people know some days ahead of time that the city was going to be giving that notice because we were tipped off by somebody with the city who was so distraught that they were going to do this. And the original plan was just 1 day. They were going to bring notices on Tuesday and then close the building on Wednesday. So, you know, we were at least able to push it for 6 days, but I'm pretty sure there's a law in Aurora that says that they should have up to 15 days, and they were not allotted the time that they could have been given. Let alone, you know, if they had known for so long, they absolutely could have let residents know to give them proper time to put things into place.
And, you know, it's like 3 minutes to 7 right now. You said you haven't seen city workers. I haven't noticed them either, or like police yet. I guess, I mean, you obviously don't know exactly what to expect, but like they obviously said they were going to come in, shut the utilities off at 7, board everything up right away.
Correct.
I mean, what do you... I guess what other things do you expect to happen if there are? Is anything else?
I mean, my take on it and what I was kind of saying the last few days is that if they care about optics, they're not going to be doing this because it's going to look ridiculous for them to have completely armed and full riot gear, so many police officers and SWAT team members, again, like they had on Wednesday when they were giving notice and just taping notices on people's doors. They even blocked off like a 1-block radius around the entire building so cars couldn't get in. So transportation that was supposed to take folks to a nearby school for housing resources couldn't reach people. So I think, hopefully they learned from that. Hopefully they realized that their initial approach was based on racist propaganda against these people. And but as recently as yesterday, there were talks that they had not changed their plan and that they were going to do this for the safety of their police officers. And you see how much community is here. You see how many kids are here. It's a very safe environment. I've been coming here every day since we got the news. Since we were able, we've had folks here every day and have had no issues. Folks are just, confused, desperate, and don't understand why this racism is being held against them, and resulting in a disregard for their rights as paying tenants.
And then I just have one last question. When you mentioned community, can you again kind of like talk about the scene right now?
Yeah. So we have a lot of mutual aid folks here. We have people who are here with breakfast. We had coffee, drinks, snacks, and things like that. The last few days, we've had people from the community come out with art supplies to keep the kids kind of entertained and their mind off of what's going on, and that's been a huge help. You've seen so many people really take advantage of that, and the parents were busy preparing things and their kids were able to kind of separate and enjoy themselves. We have U-Hauls here. Different groups have come and rented U-Hauls. Food Not Bombs has been here and offered that as well. And so yeah, just very glad to see this unity of these different mutual aid groups and community resource and some political groups as well, all here to support our most vulnerable. With packing, we're trying to get them on a list to be registered to receive hotel stay, providing suitcases, boxes, things like that. But we're still waiting on the city. We do need them to show up to be able to finalize details for these people to go to hotels. Until then, everything can get moved out, but they're going to be waiting without anywhere to go.
Guess, is there anything else you want to add?
Just that this is not the only building in the area that is in this situation. This particular management, CBZ Management, Zeb Baumgartner, I believe, is the owner and is a guy who lives in Chicago but has properties everywhere. He's very hard to track news-wise because he changes the name of his management company all the time to avoid being tracked in that way. He has a lawsuit against him in New York for an infant dying of lead poisoning in one of his buildings. And so this guy's a bad dude. And I just want folks to be aware that this is happening in so many different places, not just here in Colorado, but across the U.S. And we cannot allow the government to side with the slumlords, with the property owners who neglect their properties, who then blame it on the residents, especially minorities and folks who are already incredibly vulnerable and marginalized. And to put the blame on them is disgusting and wrong. And we have to set a precedent that community will show up, that these folks will be taken care of, that we demand that our cities do better for these people and not just push them off to the next location.
I guess one last thing that reminded me when you said that, I think sometime last week, the owner, that man, said something about blaming, I don't know, you probably know what he said better.
Yeah. It was horrific. It was disgusting, and the kind of language they used. It's amazing. You have children with severe disabilities here. You have a child who's wheelchair bound with severe cerebral palsy. You have elders here. You have a patient who's in hospice, whose hospice nurse visits her here. A lot of folks in need, and for them to just use the wave of racist propaganda that's coming from conservative right groups that's taking over those national headlines and platforms, Trump himself was bragging about, you know, creating the term migrant crime as if putting two words together was something he could invent. But, you know, he basically was suggesting that that was a tactic that they were going to use for this election. And so I want people to be sure to always question, you know, where this information comes from. You know, folks who are born in the U.S. are 41% more likely to commit crime than migrants coming here. We can't be scapegoating on our neighbors who are coming and are incredibly vulnerable and need our support in these times. These are beautiful people. These are hardworking people. They deserve their rights. They deserve to have their kids in school and educated and feeling safe and comfortable just like anyone else's kids. And so, yeah, I would say that, you know, he was banking on people buying his blatant racism to get away with the crimes he's been committing against these people and against paying tenants. And so just, you know, a reminder for the community that when they come for the most vulnerable people, they're eventually going to come for you too. And we need to make sure that we're always protecting and upholding the rights of people who deserve it and who are human. And yeah, and not let ourselves get clouded with and misdirected by that racism, and especially not let the government follow that line of reasoning and use that against people who have no reason to be blamed.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Do you think your colleague would like to speak now?
Yeah, Aloe?
Yes.
Yeah, I can bring Aloe up. Yeah. Teddy, you want to speak?
I could just smell it.
Hey everyone, this is Alex with Riot. We're in Aurora, Colorado. That was V. Reeves with House Keys Action Network Denver, who just spoke with us. They are part of one of the organizations here who have been supporting and organizing with residents at the Fitzsimons Place Apartment, where the mostly Venezuelan migrant residents here were given a 6-day notice to vacate their homes. Last week, a group of about 60 police officers came with city officials and put notices on doors saying danger, and the warnings say that there's like health hazards here. And although that is the case and residents have been reporting these health hazards and infestations and appliances not working for years, the city decided last week to give a 6-day notice to people to let them know they had to leave. It's past 7 o'clock right now, and the city has not approached the building. I haven't noticed any city officials or police yet. They did say, the city said that they would be here at 7 a.m. to shut off all the utilities to the building and to board up the entire building and fence it off. Yet it is 6 minutes past 7 in the morning here in Aurora, Colorado, and that has not happened yet. So we will see what's happening, but we will stay live for what unfolds this morning. And we were here last week during the press conference that happened at this location, and we heard from residents then, and as V was describing, and as you can see, there are lots of children here. There are about 75 children who go to Aurora Public Schools, and school already started. And do you want to speak? Okay. And so there are a lot of children here, and school started last week. So to have the city come in and say that the families were going to be evicted in 6 days while their children were just starting school was very hard for these families to hear. And now people have been scrambling this morning, but also, as V was describing, there's been a great sense of community with mutual aid organizations showing up with U-Haul trucks and food and breakfast and coffee, etc. So we're going to be speaking to another organizer shortly, but until then, we are again in Aurora, Colorado, and you can check out our press conference coverage from last week at unicornriot.ninja. We also interviewed another organizer last week, Nate, and you can check out our interview video with him at our website as well.
Hi. Remind me of your name.
Alex.
Alex. Hi. My name's Alo. Oh goodness. I probably look terrible, but let's do it.
You look great. What do you mean?
Thanks.
Move everybody out. Suddenly it's gonna be like a repair place.
Am I too close?
No, you could actually take a little bit close. That should be good.
Okay.
So you can introduce yourself, if you work with an organization or not, and then say, because Via was saying you've been here like the past week, so if you want to kind of just describe what you've experienced.
Okay. Hi, my name's Alo. I am a community member here in Denver. I have been here, what's today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, I've been here since last Monday. I got noticed just through friends that the apartment complex was going to be condemned, and so I've been coming to help in any way that I can. And it's been a wild 8 days or so, just understanding the complexities of the situation, and I have met a lot of individuals here, a lot of which are families. They have a lot of kids here. Just hardworking people trying to make a living here in the U.S. A lot of them are migrants, and I was just talking about earlier that a lot of the times people, including myself and my family, because I am originally from Mexico and moved here when I was a kid, but oftentimes we move to the U.S. with this hope and this illusion that our lives are going to change, and it's really heartbreaking that that's not the case. Living in the U.S. can be very stressful, and we just come to be exploited, right?
And I guess since you've been here since last Monday, and can you describe has have you seen any changes between then and now with how residents are feeling, or what they've been going through?
I definitely, through the progression of the last week, people are really tired. I think that police are here. Okay.
If you need to go, that's fine. But if you don't mind, just
no, that's okay. We can keep going.
Okay.
Sorry, let me catch my train of thought.
Yeah, for sure.
I think through the progression of the week, people have grown tired. I think when we first arrived, people were very hesitant. They were like, what's going on? And even yesterday when I got off work and came over here, there was still a lot of tenants that were in disbelief that this was going to take place. I think that speaks to the surprise that all of this has just been a surprise, and it's been really shocking. And so we were able to convince some people to allow us to help them move their things out of their apartment so that they could be a little bit more prepared come this morning, because as you might have heard, police have arrived now, and they will essentially board up the building, the apartment, the units, and
And I guess so, just hearing that police have arrived, it's about 7:12 a.m. So they obviously didn't get here right at 7, but I guess how do you feel right now?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they were not here earlier. We were expecting them to make their presence. We were expecting them earlier, and we were actually expecting that they would close down the corners, the blocks, to avoid people from coming inside. I feel compared to yesterday, I feel better. There's a lot of community members here. Obviously, the press is here, so I feel a little bit of relief. I know I myself, I am very comfortable around cops, and yeah, I've heard a few people here express how they were also just really scared, and they people have been up since 5 in the morning just getting ready to leave because they did not want to have any encounters with the police.
And sorry, obviously, like, okay, so we're seeing police now, but at least I haven't seen city officials this morning yet, and I know, like, V was talking about how the city is apparently going to be providing some temporary hotels to people and helping with security deposits for new apartments, but they haven't arrived yet. But the police are here. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's really frustrating because I simply don't understand why it was so difficult to allow the tenants here. I met a man yesterday who had lived here for 6 years. So for 6 years, this man had been paying the rent, essentially, contributing to the owner of this apartment complex. So it's really frustrating that he was provided 4 days. Realistically 4 days to prepare to move out, and that was really heartbreaking. So it's really frustrating, the fact that no consideration was given to the people that live here. I think that it's really inhumane, and the fact that we, when I say we, I think I speak about the tenants and community members, how we had to beg for the city to essentially care, and we are still here.
Yeah, it looks like some community organizers are carrying the tables with supplies out of the fence right now. I mean, yeah, like, I know, yeah, they said they were gonna board up and everything. I guess, like, what are your expectations for the rest of the morning?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not really sure. I think that having police presence, they're kind of very reactive, and you can never really know what's going to go down. But all I can do, I can hope that everything's going to be okay, and everyone's going to be safe here.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Let me see. I guess just free Palestine, free Sudan, free Congo.
Thank you for speaking.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you, Alex.
So as you heard just now, the police have arrived. I'm seeing 5 police officers. I'm gonna move toward the scene closer to where they are shortly. But just to wrap up what just happened, we spoke with 2 community organizers here in Aurora, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver, and they explained how the city gave the 6-day notice and how folks, community members have been helping residents get their property out of their homes this morning, and even, in the past few days. The city said that they were going to provide temporary hotels for folks, but the city hasn't shown up today yet. So we've only seen, and by we, I mean I've only seen, and the 2 community organizers I interviewed have only seen the police show up so far. So the city has not shown up yet to provide any resources to residents as of this morning. And the city said by 7 a.m. residents needed to vacate their homes or they would be subject to arrest, and said that at 7 a.m. Their apartments would be boarded up, the complex would be fenced off, all the utilities would be shut off. So even if people wanted to attempt to stay here, they would have no electricity, no water, no gas, none of that. The scene is a pretty stark contrast from last week when the press conference happened. There were a ton of residents with their children in the courtyard where I'm standing right now. However, right now it's pretty vacant. A lot of the residents are finishing up packing in their apartments, and many of them are out in the parking lot right now. So there's only a handful or so of people in this courtyard with me right now, and there's others walking around checking on different apartments. And there's a U-Haul truck that was packed up, and I think they're gonna pull away shortly. But I'm gonna move out toward the parking lot now, where folks seem to be congregating. Again, we are in Aurora, Colorado. This is Alex with Unicorn Riot. Chris is doing back end, and we are live covering this mass eviction of nearly 100 migrant families here in Aurora, Colorado, who were given a 6-day notice to vacate the premises, while the city knew for at least 2 years that there were hazards and infestations in this building. The city director of communications, I believe his name is Jason Luby, he said that the conditions here are deplorable and that it's not the residents' fault and that the owners are to blame, yet they gave the residents 6 days to find new housing. And the residents, last week at the press conference, they had a list of demands, including giving them 2 months to find housing and to move into new housing. And a lot of the residents also have pets. There are 2 dogs running around right now. We saw a cat in a crate being taken out earlier, and it was meowing in its crate. So there are pets here, there are children here. All right, I'm going to be lowering the tripod temporarily. Just bear with me here. So here's the scene in the courtyard. As you can tell, it's pretty empty. Again, residents are grabbing the last of their belongings. And this is, I'll show one of the warning danger notices that they put up. It says, danger note, trespassing, order to vacate, unsafe to occupy. And also there's been a drone flying in the sky since about the time I arrived here, so excuse me, for about 45 minutes. And the other media people here said it was not theirs. So there's speculation that it is a police drone flying. So the police presence has grown. If I'm going to count, there are about 10 police officers here currently.
Oh shit.
So there's an Aurora police vehicle parked at the end of the parking lot here at the Fitzsimons Place Apartments in Aurora, Colorado. So there are 12 police officers visible here making a line at the end of the parking lot. As you can see, there's a bunch of trash overflowing from the dumpsters. These residents, again, had a 6-day notice to vacate this apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. They apparently put up a no trespassing sign. The Aurora Police Department, it's this yellow sign. It says, "No trespassing. Guests of tenants must be accompanied by a leaseholder while on the premises at all times. All trespass violations will be reported to the Aurora Police Department." I think that's new. I don't recall it being there when I arrived this morning. So that's essentially saying anyone helping guests leave or pack up their belongings need to be with leaseholders while helping them, is how I'm understanding that. There are over 100 people here, including tenants. I'd say actually closer to 150. There are quite a few community members here supporting people. As discussed earlier from the two interviewees, and from what I saw, there have been community members helping residents move out, community members helping provide breakfast, coffee, water. Also taking down people's information to help provide them with resources. The city has not shown up as far as other city officials who could help residents with the temporary hotels they said they were going to provide. Yet there are at least 12 police officers here, and the city housing officials have not shown up to provide resources at this time. So this is the parking lot of the Fitzsimons Place apartment complex. All right, I am now noticing many more police officers toward the beginning of the parking lot. So we're gonna walk this way a little bit to see what's going on. I see Animal Services is on the scene. There are people dressed in khakis and green polo shirts, in addition to the police officers. I'm not sure who they are with. Trying to figure that out at the moment. There are about 20 in total. There's one individual in a green, more militarized looking uniform, in addition to the police in their navy blue uniforms. And there are even more cops now showing up and walking over. So yeah, Denver SWAT is here. I'm seeing another person in their army green uniform. Again, this is all for an apartment complex here in Aurora, Colorado, where there's about 100 migrant families who were given a 6-day notice. City officials have not shown up yet to... Hello.
Hi. We've closed off this area, so if you're with the media, we have a media staging area that's over in the
closed off the
1500
parking
blocks.
lot? Okay, where's the media staging area?
It's right over in the 1500 block of Nome Street. That's where the media staging area is, but this whole area is being closed off.
So I can't provide coverage
No,
on the ground at
not
the
in this
Fitzsimons
area.
Place Apartments.
This area has now been closed off to the general public, except for people that live there.
Yeah, there's
We're
also
gonna
a
be-
bunch of media inside.
We'll be clearing them out also, so if you could head over to the media staging area, which is in the 1500 block of Nome, I'd appreciate it.
I'd like to stay as long as the mainstream media can stay.
Okay,
so
well, we'll go with
yeah,
them too.
let's all walk that way. So I'm being told I can't be on the property anymore. There's a media staging area over a block away, so I might not be able to provide coverage, which is in the public interest, of this eviction of nearly 100 Venezuelan migrant families who were given a 6-day notice. The city of Aurora, in their capacity to provide the hotels they said they were going to, have not shown up yet this morning. Yet there are about 50 police officers, including the Denver Metro SWAT unit. Or I'm sorry, it's probably the Aurora Metro SWAT unit. And they're now moving in also. There's mainstream media here as well, and the police officer who came up to me doesn't seem to have walked up to them yet. It's 7 News. Oh, now they're walking up to the mainstream media to tell them what they told me minutes ago.
We're going to close in this area. One stage
It would be great to be able to film what's actually going on here in the public's interest. I can stay in the parking lot, I won't be in there.
Clear the parking lot for everybody's safety.
Okay.
For everybody's safety?
So we can do our operations and everybody's safe.
I think it might be helpful and safe for people, for the media to be here to view what's going
That's
on.
where we have a media area over there.
Will I be able to film what's going on here over there?
We're clearing everybody out.
But can you answer my question? Will I be able to? So why is the media area not visible to what's going on here?
It'll be on that side.
You can ask the PIOs that.
It'll be on the other side of the brick building, so
I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about it. Yep. I used to be a public information officer, so I know exactly what you do and the importance of having a free press and media, but those are the decisions that were made above my head, so just asking you to move over to the media staging area, and if you have any further questions, you can talk to the PIOs and they can explain to you why you have the What's that?
Okay. I think we'll have two head into the courtyard.
Extremely dangerous.
the city only the city only gave a 6-day notice though. So even if folks wanted to move, they only had 6 days. Like, do you think you could find an apartment in 6 days?
The city's provided them with resources, so.
Hotels that I heard the city was going to be here to provide those hotels this morning, but you all showed up, but the city officials didn't.
I'm not involved in that process. That's a different department. So yeah, if you could please move to the media staging area, I'd appreciate it.
Who are the people in the green uniforms? Can you just tell me that?
Those are code enforcement officers.
Oh. All right.
So they're the ones that are.
Oh, okay. I see. Just that the people in the green are code enforcement officers, and I guess those are the ones conducting the actual eviction, and then the police are here supporting them.
Yeah. Likely story.
So, 7 News remains on the property, so I'm going to move closer toward them. But yeah, this is Alex with Unicorn Riot here in Aurora, Colorado at the Fitzsimons Place Apartment, where the city of Aurora are evicting nearly 100 Venezuelan migrant families from their homes. There are a bunch of community supporters here. The police told me that there's a media staging area over a block away where none of this would be visible. There are probably at least 50 police officers. The people in the green polos are code enforcement. They're the ones actually doing the eviction. The police and the SWAT unit are here to support the Aurora code enforcement. The gang unit is here. The Aurora gang unit is on the property. So I might need to start moving off. I'm going to just zoom in on what's happening before I sign off. Thank you for tuning in. This is Alex with Unicorn Riot. We are here in Aurora, Colorado, providing coverage of this nearly 100 unit apartment complex that's being evicted. They were given a 6-day notice. There's a SWAT unit here, a gang unit here, Aurora Police, the Aurora Code Enforcement. At least 50 to 60 law enforcement officers are on the scene.
City of Aurora Department of Housing and Community Services. By order of the city manager, the property of 5068 Nome Street has been deemed uninhabitable and can no longer be occupied. Anyone on the property without specific permission by the city manager is trespassing and must leave now. For operational safety, non-residents must follow directions of police officers out of the marked area.
So in the Aurora Police vehicle, they are making an announcement saying that everyone who is not a resident here is trespassing because the building is uninhabitable.
Ma'am.
Por seguridad operativa, los no residentes deben seguir las instrucciones de los agentes de policía afuera de las áreas marcadas.
Okay?
Alright, I will... Looks like there's media right there. Can I do that also? Like on the other side of that fence?
I don't know who that is. I'm dealing with you at this moment. Channel 7 is just left, so it's time for you to go also.
There's media right there.
This is the City of Aurora Department of Housing and Community Services. By order of the city manager,
Yeah, but they're mainstream media. Okay, I'd like you to talk to them too.
Anyone on the property without specific permission by the city manager is trespassing and must leave now. For operational safety, non-residents must follow directions of officers out of the park area.
I'm parked down the street.
Okay. Well, it's time to head to that media staging.
Can you tell me the address one more time?
It's in the 1500 block of North.
Este es el Departamento de Vivienda y Servicios Comunitarios de la ciudad de Aurora.
So I'm gonna walk slowly toward the end of the parking lot because I have been told that media can no longer be on the property. There are code enforcement officers carrying contractor bags toward the property. I pointed out another mainstream media outlet for that police officer who keeps talking to me, and he said he was going to go up to them afterward talking to me, so I don't know if that's going to happen. However, media is not allowed to be on the property anymore. This is a massive mobile command communications unit.
Hey, can you please go to the press area for me?
I'm leaving the property right now to head that way.
Appreciate it, thank you.
The area looks like it's being completely closed off. There's this massive mobile command communications unit of Aurora vehicle. The road is closed off. There are over 20 police vehicles here. There's an Aurora Police K9 unit with a massive trailer. So I don't know if that is, there's like, I don't know how many dogs might be in that trailer.
Hey, you gotta go on the other side of the tape. Hey, if you're gonna film, you gotta go on the other side of the tape.
Yeah, my vehicle's parked on this public road, so I was just filming this massive K9 unit because I think that's in the public interest. Where? Oh, the tape's right there? Okay. Well, I'm gonna film on the other side of the tape because I was told I could do that by that officer. I was told I can be on the other side of the tape. Is that sort of? So this Aurora, Colorado Fire Rescue Mobile Command Communications Unit is here on the scene. Aurora, Colorado right now. There are, at this point, close to 100 law enforcement officers from the SWAT unit, the gang unit, the code enforcement unit, there's animal control. There's a massive Aurora Police Canine unit trailer parked. And all of these law enforcement officers are here because a 99 unit, nearly 100 unit apartment complex in the city of Aurora that's being evicted because of the deplorable conditions of the complex, even stated by the Aurora Director of Communications, Jason Luby, I believe is his name, said the fault of the deplorable conditions of the apartment complex lies on the owners. However, this is how the city of Aurora is responding to evicting the nearly 100, mostly Venezuelan migrant families who were living in this apartment complex that has now become uninhabitable and in deplorable conditions due to the owners of the building. This is the Aurora Police Canine Unit. Other than the code enforcement officers, which I don't think this would be their job anyway, but they're the closest to city officials that could even remotely help people find housing today. The city said they would be providing temporary hotels to people who couldn't find other housing options within 6 days. The city also said they could help pay security deposits for people who were able to find housing in 6 days. However, I have not seen any city officials who are with the housing or with community services at all here this morning. Trying to see what it says on that cork board right there. There's a police negotiator present. It seems that every type of law enforcement officer in the city of Aurora is present. At least city level. So unfortunately, I needed to leave the property of the apartment complex, but I'm across the street right now.
I did this once when it was like covered in ice by myself. Yeah.
One of the police officers is climbing on top of the mobile command communications unit. It seems that the law enforcement officers are allowing community members to stay on the property to help residents move. But they told all the media present that they needed to vacate. There's a big pole that the police negotiator is doing something with. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. This is Alex with Unicorn Riot. I'm here in Aurora, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver, Colorado. I'm on the cross streets of Oakland Street and East 16th, right across from the Fitzsimons Place Apartment building that's currently being evicted. The residents at the apartment are predominantly Venezuelan migrants. They were told 6 days ago that they needed to vacate their homes by 7 a.m. this morning or that they face arrest. There have not been any city officials or city workers other than law enforcement officers who have shown up this morning. They showed up at about 7:15 a.m. So I'm not sure if the building's utilities were shut off or not. The Aurora code enforcement officers have been on the scene, and perhaps they have the ability to turn off the utilities. And I got his name wrong. It's not Jason Luby, it's Ryan Luby, who is the Deputy Director of Communications for Aurora. He said city contractors will begin boarding up the building and fencing off the entire property at 7 a.m. That has not been a visible thing yet. Of course, I can't see the building right now. However, when I was in there up until about 7:30, 7:35, that was not happening. And there are not city contractors. These are all city employees, as far as I understand, because they're Aurora City law enforcement officers. And again, we covered a press conference last week. It was last Thursday, which you can watch in full at our website, unicornriot.ninja. We also did a interview with Nate Casa, I believe is his name, and you can watch that video. Also, at the press conference, a lot of the families and their young children were present at the Fitzsimons Place apartment in the courtyard. They spoke about how a 6-day notice was way too short, and that people who had gone that day, like the morning of before the press conference, to look for apartments were told they could move into the apartment, but not for a few months. There has been an ongoing housing crisis here in Colorado and throughout the entire country, and the expectation of people being able to find and then move into an apartment or a house within 6 days is not exactly a viable suggestion or command. Although apparently the law enforcement officers are giving bracelets to people who are helping residents move. So if you have a bracelet, then you're allowed to help out, is what I just overheard. There are quite a few community members supporting residents and helping them move. There's still at least one U-Haul truck in the parking lot. Despite there being a gang unit here and the massive amount of law enforcement officers, there has been no evidence that the city of Aurora has provided that there is gang activity at all in this apartment complex. What the city in fact has said, the city has blamed the owners of the property for the destruction and deplorable conditions of the property. No blame has been put on the residents themselves, who again are mostly made up of families. There are toddlers, there are babies, there are school children here. Most of the 100-unit apartment complex was made up of Venezuelan migrant families. Many of them paid this month's rent also. I don't know the exact number, but residents at the press conference last week were saying how they paid rent, and we're hoping to recoup that money because they're being kicked out on the 13th of the month. They're also hoping to get their security deposits back from staying here. The Aurora Police K-9 unit trailer just passed again. It's now parking on the street. When we were talking to two of the community organizers earlier this morning, they were talking about how some city officials and, in addition, the owner of this apartment complex have talked about or have been fear-mongering and spreading misinformation about the families living in this apartment complex, saying how they think there's gang activity here, saying how the population of migrant Venezuelans are violent. However, there hasn't been any evidence pointing to that. It looks like the police are pushing back on community organizers who remain in the parking lot because I'm seeing a line of people moving backward. Yeah, the police line is moving forward, pushing out community members who are not actively helping people move out, apparently. There are still toddlers and children in the parking lot with their families. There's chanting happening. Vives aqui? Vives aqui? He lives there. A little bit. Okay. A la derecha. The police are bringing coffee into their command center.
Okay, yeah. Where's 16th and Oswego?
This way. No, it's that way. One block over. You guys got
The police seem to be pushing supporters of the residents toward the other end of the street. I'm hearing a dog bark. I don't know if that's a canine unit or a residence dog, but there are definitely, I have not seen a police dog outside of a vehicle yet. You all live in this neighborhood? They're now putting police yellow tape around the entire parking lot. I'm going to walk around the block to get to where the community organizers are stationed now because of where they were pushed. So again, this is Alex with Riot. I'm reporting live from Aurora, Colorado. Thank you, Chris, for holding down the back end support. I'm just going to do a little walk here to get to the other side because the short way, the more direct way, is blocked off. So I'm gonna do a little walk around the neighborhood. East 16th. Part of East 16th is blocked off with police tape and police vehicles because the city of Aurora is evicting nearly 100 migrant families. And the city of Aurora has over 100 law enforcement officers to conduct that. The code enforcement officers were the ones in charge. However, they are being supported by about 100, I would say, other law enforcement officers. There might be about 100 in total, but either way, there's a lot of law enforcement at Fitzsimons Place Apartments, where nearly 100 Venezuelan migrant families are being evicted. They were given a 6-day notice last week. This is Aurora, Colorado. It's a suburb of Denver, Colorado. All right, I'm gonna walk up through this alley and see what I can see up here. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for bearing with me as I trek through this neighborhood to see if I can get a better view. Again, there doesn't seem to be any Aurora city officials who work in the housing or community department at all who have been on the ground to help anyone get the temporary hotels the city said they were going to provide. I haven't seen any city workers doing that type of work this morning. It's only been law enforcement. And again, it's been about at least 100 law enforcement officers from what I believe is every single city department, from the gang unit to the K-9 unit. There is a police negotiator, the code enforcement team, the SWAT team. I might have to move one more block, but we'll see. So that tan brick building is the Fitzsimons Place apartment complex that I was inside the courtyard of this morning until I was told I needed to leave because I'm media. And that is the parking lot where everyone has been pushed out of. There's not police tape on this side of the parking lot. There is, however, on the other side. You can maybe see the yellow police tape on that side. Zoom in. But yeah, so that apartment complex is now officially being condemned because the owners were not keeping up with maintenance. There's a big truck inside the parking lot that seems to be, workers are filling it up with the trash that was overflowing from the dumpsters, is what it looks like. I think the majority of the vehicles inside the parking lot are law enforcement vehicles, but there seem to be some that are probably still resident ones. I think residents are still allowed to finish moving their belongings with the help of support that have bracelets on. The police said that people who are helping residents and people who are like allowed inside the apartment complex need to have bracelets on.
Irony died. Yeah. If I wrote it in a book, it'd be like.
So supporters of the residents have been pushed to one end of 16th Ave. And there's tape, police tape around the area. I think some supporters are still allowed to be helping. Yeah, like this, one of these people walking has like a green bracelet on. So people with those are allowed to help residents continue moving. People are chanting Elijah McClain's name. He was a young man who, after having interactions with paramedics and police in Aurora, Colorado, died in the hospital. He was given a sedative. I believe he was given ketamine. There seems to be something dramatic happening. Give me a second. My apologies. Alright, I'm gonna try to head that way now. Actually, I wonder. I'm going to run through. I'm so sorry. I think, I'm not sure what happened actually. There are three police, or now more officers walking down the street. I'm not sure what's happening. There are people running, and then there are some police following them.
It was repent with ease. Yeah. So a car blew through and ran a kid and hit a kid. Yeah. And I think that was the kid's dad that went running after the car. Oh. Yeah. Or the kid's brother or something.
Okay, so apparently a car came driving through and hit a child, and people were chasing after the vehicle, and only a handful of police officers on foot started following the vehicle. Meanwhile, there are dozens and dozens of residents who used to live at the Fitzsimons Place Apartments, now just standing on the side of this road. There are a bunch of children here.
After a kid just got hit by a car. Their main concern is still peaceful protest.
You're gonna roll your fucking eyes! You're a piece of shit! You're just fucking ashamed! That's okay, your buddies are protecting you!
Michelle toes looking a little dirty.
Police when attempted murder? Police,
I know.
police, when I'm waiting for a safe time to drive my U-Haul, they have to defend themselves from us because we're so scary. To arrest me for waiting for a safe time to drive the U-Haul out. Well, you're clearly super threatening. Yeah. But yeah, attempted murder, we don't even see it happen.
Javier, dile ahí que al hermano mío le tenía
So this is the corner of Oswego and East 16th. It's about a block away from the Fitzsimons Place Apartments, but I can see them from this distance.
You would never condemn a building where white Americans live. And Americans that make more money, they would never condemn a building like that. Living conditions wouldn't even get that bad. Building with American citizens that make a lot of.
There are dozens of families in this area on the sidewalks who were living at that apartment complex that was given a 6-day notice to vacate the premises last week.
Especially kids just on the sidewalks.
Sí, te mando la ubicación porque ahorita no tengo mi carro. Ok, sí, está bien. Ok, ahí. I can't believe that car ran over a kid with their license plate talking about them as kids. But are we surprised?
They don't do shit, but they're gonna tell people they can't take the U-Haul and their meds and shit.
What? Yeah, yeah. I'm just like, how their license plate will talk about
There's just a crowd of people over there.
but they just ran a kid over. How old
This person in the blue polo is with the DART team, D-A-R-T.
It'd be super helpful, but this is a school.
And this is
I thought we could try to get it close to 7. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just to keep people from coming down this way. I could try hard.
Serve and protect what? Fucking line right now. Do you fucking understand that? My life. You really think 6 days is enough? I can't fucking not with my
Poor families. Kids on the streets for 6 days. Standing there with a badge and a gun and you won't even make eye contact. Oh, but nice little smirk. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Look at me. Look at me, buddy. Look at me, buddy. Yeah, that's right. You're kicking families out and you look me in the eye when I tell you what the fuck you're doing, kicking kids onto the streets. I can see the shame in your eyes. I'll pray for you.
Getting rich.
We're asking kids as young as 2 to experience that. How dare you? The right to a home is a huge psychological fact. If you do not have a home, you are not whole psychologically. You are doing this to children who are a few months old. You're doing this to children who are 12 years old. How dare you? And we will never forgive you for this. We will always remember you. We got all of your badge numbers. We know exactly who you are.
I never forget a face.
Okay, I've got a couple units available. I can send over that way.
I know this is petty, but your tattoos are fucking embarrassing, dude. Damn, those are ugly tattoos. Damn, that's not gonna stay forever, girl. You feel real tough? You feel real tough?
You got a Harley tattoo on your hand?
Fucking embarrassing.
Sick. What kind of... I don't give a fuck about your tattoos. I give a fuck about your heart.
Well, they don't. There's no use appealing to that.
Clearly not. Clearly not, because he's just standing there silent. Fucking kids. What kind of pomade do you use for your hair, bro?
A table has been set up out here now with the same items that were set up inside the apartment complex. There are snacks and granola bars and coffee. So this is the aftermath of families being evicted from their apartment building with a 6-day notice. The majority of them are just on the sidewalk, a block away from the apartment building. Again, there are no Aurora City workers here on the ground providing resources, providing the temporary hotels that they said they were going to. However, there are at least 100 law enforcement officers on the ground. There are community members providing resources though, such as water, coffee, food, taking down people's information to try to get them into housing. There's a line over here and a table set up for people taking down people's information.
I know, but oh, actually.
Están hablando con ella, pero ella está sola. Te ayuda.
María. ¿Dónde está? Yo voy a ir lejos. Haciendo tu vuelta de carro, una cuadra para allá, caminando con amigos.
Pero ¿cuál de las dos?
¿Cuál de las dos? Dale, pues entonces yo voy a ir para allá. Anda, agarra una, pues yo voy a ir para allá. Ya hablamos allá. Anda, agarra una, pues anda. Lo de anoche. Mami.
We have more water coming.
There are people making sure the cars driving through are driving slowly and trying to stand in between cars and the folks on the sidewalks, because there was a child hit earlier today by a vehicle, and the only police that went after the vehicle were on foot, and there were about 4 of them. I'm not sure if that vehicle was apprehended or not. I know like V would be good, but I'm pretty sure they're
¿Qué tal, gringo tuyo?
Got a car coming
I'll look out for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do we get? Housing justice!
Okay.
Now! Housing justice! Now! Housing justice! When do we want it? Now! MPD, KKK, IOF, you're all the same! MPD, KKK, IOF, you're all the same! KKK, IOF, you're all the same! MPD, KKK,
I do have some of the water, some of the small ones. I'll go grab those out of my car.
Are they gonna let you? Where's your car at?
I'm just gonna walk. I'll carry them. Not too bad. After that coffee, they'll feel like.
Hey, you speak Spanish, right? Yeah, what's up? They're looking for somebody that speaks Spanish. It's Unicorn Riot.
Oh hey, I'm Sam. I don't know if you saw my message. I just reached out to you for a couple days.
Oh, no, I didn't.
No, oh, no worries.
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm Alex with Unicorn Riot. I was wondering if, I was hoping to just interview some residents about like how they're feeling, what's going on right now.
Yeah.
If you would be down to like help translate.
Yeah, we're kind of trying to get my medicine right now.
Oh, then focus.
And then, yeah, I can.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. No one should be coming from this way. They're blocking off the street. They're not letting anyone go. So you know. So yeah. But yeah, keep an eye on it. Think about it. I'm still looking for you.
No, yeah, I think actually.
Oh yeah.
Hi, sorry. I know you were just like eating. I'm Alex with Unicorn Riot, and I was wondering if you would be interested or down to help translate any interviews with like residents at all. And you can say no, obviously. I had someone else who was maybe down, but they are busy at the moment.
I'm not like very good with translation.
Okay.
I'm not like a professional interpreter. But yeah, I'm down.
Okay. Okay, sweet. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you should finish your burrito. I was just gonna see anyone who would be interested in talking. There's a police vehicle, maybe trying to come down the road.
Unicorn Riot. I think I follow you on Instagram.
Please slow down. We have a street full of kids.
Y'all want to hit the kid too?
Kids here. Slow down. Slow down. Why are you there? Everyone move out the way.
I wonder if, I know this person's been vocal.
Ayer me mató a alguien lo mismo.
No, pero ahorita están dando ese
Mañana no sé café ahí.
Están custodiando.
Me dice, ponte para allá, que estoy tomando mi café y no quiero seguir tiempo. ¿La tienes que agarrar conmigo?
Ajá, porque, y para allá te vas a ir, no sé, te agarras allá.
That's your last one. Oh, I won't show you.
Está regalando, vecino. Y así, ¿no?
Esto para jugar. La pelota
No sé si alguien tiene una pelota.
Yo la tengo, pero ya la guardamos en la pelota.
Alguien tiene que tener uno.
Mira, mano, no tiene una pelota para jugar.
Si quieres, guárdalo. Yo no tengo pelota. Ni una vivienda fija.
Señora que vive contigo.
Yo tengo que ir para la escuela.
Oh shit. Sorry, Luis. Y sí.
¿Y abre la maleta ahí?
Ahorita. We're on Oswego Street, right?
Yeah.
Sí, estoy por como la Peoria y Colfax, pero ahorita te mandé la ubicación. Ahorita te la mando. Ok.
Moisés.
To everyone who is still tuned in or has tuned in recently, this is Alex with Riot. I'm here in Aurora, Colorado. This is the scene about a block away from an apartment complex that was evicted this morning. Nearly 100 Venezuelan migrant families were given a 6-day notice last week that they needed to vacate their homes this morning by 7 a.m. There are a ton of children, about 75 children here, including babies and toddlers.
What's this? Okay.
Agua.
And about 100 law enforcement officers showed up at about 7:15 this morning, including the code enforcement team, which has been taking the lead this morning to carry out the official eviction.
There's no more folks? Is it?
And there has been a SWAT team, the K-9 unit, a gang unit, animal control, all sorts of units and different teams of law enforcement officers here this morning. Yet there has not been visible Aurora city workers who are here specifically to help residents find places to move to. The city said they were going to provide temporary hotels for people and were potentially going to be providing security deposits for people to get into new housing. However, it is unclear if that is going to happen at this point. The majority of the residents who were evicted this morning are now on the sidewalks of the area that I'm currently standing in, including, as I just said, toddlers, babies, young children. There are a bunch of families here who are now just standing and sitting along the sidewalk about a block away from the apartment complex where they were evicted from. The reasoning of the eviction, according to the city of Aurora, is because of the deplorable and uninhabitable conditions of the complex, which they blame the owners of the building for. At a press conference last week, residents were in part demanding that the city give them 2 months to have adequate time to find somewhere to move into and then have the time to move into that new place. However, that didn't happen. They were given 6 days, and police showed up in hordes this morning at about 7:15 a.m. But I'm just gonna. Yeah, I would want to obviously ask their names, but you don't mind walking over, or are you trying to still wait for someone to come out? Okay. Are you sure? Like I don't want to like push you further than
I was just checking to see if it's done.
I think forget their name. I think that person is willing to help too. But I mean, they didn't seem as confident as maybe. So okay. I'm going to be acquiring someone to translate to be able to interview some of the residents and perhaps the children as well. So, but in the meantime, yeah, this is still Aurora, Colorado. When we spoke with 2 community organizers before 7 a.m. this morning and at around 7 a.m., they were saying how this morning some residents were still kind of in shock and in disbelief that this eviction was going to be happening, and so some people had to kind of encourage people to start packing up and moving because it seemed like it wasn't actually going to happen. And then, of course, at about 7:15 is when law enforcement arrived. There have been dozens of community organizers and people in support roles helping people pack up their homes, and there have been some U-Haul trucks that people have put people's property in for folks who were able to find somewhere to move to. There are still also, I think, currently some residents potentially still moving things out. I think most of the residents are now out of the apartment complex. There are burritos being passed out by community members right now, as there were earlier this morning at about 6 a.m. There's still coffee, there are water bottles, and there's still a pretty big line at another table where I believe their community members are taking down information from former residents of the apartment complex to help them get into housing, because the city of Aurora is not here doing that work right now. The surrounding area seems to be pretty blocked off by police. As you can see, I'm zoomed in pretty far, and at the end of this road there's a police vehicle, and then past that there are at least 2 vehicles. I don't know if they're police or just city vehicles, but it does seem like a large perimeter has been created by law enforcement. There are children playing games on the sidewalks, kicking a soccer ball. So this is the police line at East 16th and I think it's Oswego, which is about a block away from the Fitzsimons Place Apartment building. Looks like there are 2 porta potties being offloaded.
Oh, there was one there. It looks to be around that alley between
That one was funny, dude. That one was funny, dude. That was I don't know what that is.
This person's with the police canine unit.
Share training with the IOF for murdering hundreds of thousands of people. You do the same shit right here.
Out of all the properties that we manage? Okay. So we're here with property management, and we're willing to run applications to see if we can place them in ours. And I have a Spanish speaker on this list. Is it all these days? Yeah. It's out there. They have
Someone who manages another area apartment complex just walked up to police saying they're willing to run people's names to see if they can place anyone into those apartment buildings. Again, Aurora City has not shown up to do that work this morning, but it seems that other people in the area are willing to make those moves.
Oh yeah, talking all about this. 85
doing what?
Everything's all settled now. Only certain families can get those hotel rooms.
That's all they do. Right. There's been children homeless. Just so you all know, as far as I know, the youngest person that was here, 8 days old. 8 days old. Does that make y'all feel good? 8 days. Shame on y'all!
They're alive for 2 days before you kick them out of their home. Disgusting! Shame!
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 Shame! Cowards!
What's so funny, dude? What's so funny?
That make you feel good?
You were just part of displacing over 50 families with children. I'm talking to you. Hey, hello, you. I'm talking to you. Why are you smiling?
Y'all need his backup. Oh,
I hope you fucking rotten now.
What you got that for? Oh,
You too, babe.
emergency response. Yes.
More police just arrived at this police line.
Breaks no longer. Van has been here a while. You break. You break.
Gray van coming out of the parking lot, ready to exit.
Oh, it's hard work.
Oh, I thought you said that. Oh, no. These are wrong for properties.
Yeah, go ahead. Take more than a minute. Go sit the AC. Take a drink.
You deserve it. You deserve a break.
It's like getting no bitches. Don't fuck away. How about that? You're tired? English, Shannon?
I don't mean to just sneak up on you. Are you down to do an interview? Or like, I mean, well that too, but sorry, I meant to, yeah. Okay.
Right, and this is that you uphold, has made me homeless before, has made many of my other trans and queer siblings homeless before, has made my black and brown community members homeless before.
They give a fuck. They could never.
Y'all don't know struggle.
Did you want to wait for them first?
Yeah, I just want to
Okay.
okay. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Avocado was had a freedom reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
It still is.
Said you right here? Right here at 16th. Did anyone call for another patient here at 16th and Oswego? What? What did it come out? It just came in as unknown medical. Bulk is saying it's all unknown. Yeah, that can't be Harrison's right over there, right? Yep. Was that? So we were over there, but everything was all good. Okay. All right, we'll go check over there. All right.
Lock the kids.
You like to think that.
green shirt has like spoke at the press conference last week, and so I think she might be interested. I don't See? Okay. Yeah, let's... Okay. Stand here, yeah. So yeah, I guess you can introduce yourself first and...
¿Cómo? Mi nombre es Migrant Fonseca.
And like, how are you feeling right now?
¿Cómo sientes ahorita?
No, me siento impotente porque tengo a mi familia en la calle.
I feel impotent because my family's in the street.
Do you know where you're gonna? Do you actually mind just standing like to this side a little bit, just for the audio to come? Yeah. Do you have a plan of where you're gonna go?
¿Tiene plan para que dónde vas quedarse con tu
No,
familia?
estamos aquí esperando si estamos en la lista para ir para hoteles, no sabemos.
They're on the list for the hotels, but they haven't confirmed anything yet for them.
And is it the list with the city of Aurora?
Y es la lista con la ciudad de Aurora.
Estamos en Ciudad Aurora, bueno, los que lo están apoyando, pues.
Sí, en la ciudad.
Sí.
Yeah.
How long were you living at that apartment
¿Cuánto
complex?
tiempo está viviendo?
9 meses.
9 months.
How was your apartment there?
¿Cómo fue la condición de su apartamento?
Mi apartamento, bueno, ya en el último mes, que fue el mes de junio, ya no me servía la estufa. Yo hablé con el encargado, por eso es que ese mes yo dejé de pagar. Porque dije, hasta que no me lo acomode, no le pago, porque como hacía, tenía 6 nietos, 6 babies, cuidándolos ahí, imagínense, y me servían 2 hornillitas pequeñas, de ahí. Y aquí tengo el voucher, el último pago que hice.
And they have the receipt from the last payment that they made.
Because the stove wasn't working?
Right.
Okay.
Como pagué, porque como estaba la estufa dañada, dije no, hasta que no me arreglen yo no voy a pagar. Pero no era porque no quería pagar, era por eso, pues, que tenía problemas con eso.
Does the wait list for the housing, will it be for you and your grandchildren?
En la lista que firmaron, ¿es para usted y su familia o solamente usted?
No, mi familia.
Toda la familia, como familia.
And how old are your grandchildren?
¿Y cuántos años tienen sus nietos?
Mi nieto hay uno que es incapacitado. Uno tiene 7 años, el que está incapacitado, la de 10, y mi hijo que tiene 5 años.
And another 5-year-old.
Okay. Were some of them starting school last week when?
¿Empezaron colegio la semana pasada? Sí.
Pues el martes cuando vinieron a darlos el papel, los niños estaban asustados y tuvimos que sacarlos para el colegio.
They had to leave from school, or
well,
they had.
When the police came on Tuesday, the kids were scared, so a lot of them came back home.
Hoy sí estamos preocupados por eso, porque no sabemos para dónde los van a enviar y cómo vamos a hacer para mandar a los niños para el colegio.
And like they're worried about how they're going to get their kids to school without having a home, without having resources. And that's kind of what like worried about now?
Yeah, I mean, so until you're able to get into housing, like today, do you know where you're gonna go?
Hasta que confirman que va a tener el hotel o cualquier otra acomodación. Pero por hoy, ¿cuál es su plan?
Bueno, si no dormir, hacer una carpa en el parque, porque aquí no los deja. Hacer una carpa y acostarme con los nietos y el hijo. Pues.
Just share the tent and sleep in the tent.
Porque no tenemos más, no tenemos plata.
They don't have money.
Por lo menos mi apartamento lo pintamos nosotros con nuestra plata.
Yeah, they just painted their whole apartment with their own money.
So you were like fixing up your apartment and making it like your own home, and then
un hogar.
Sí. Ya estábamos ya. Este es mi hijo.
This is
Do they want to talk at all?
Que si quieres hablar, papi.
Okay. I guess you can ask if there's anything else she wants to say.
No, ya. Gracias a ustedes que los han apoyado desde el principio. Gracias. Gracias. Gracias a los periodistas.
Gracias.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that should be good for now, and I really appreciate your help with that. Okay, thank you.
I'll just go home. Yeah, I'll just be over there.
Okay. So that was a resident, former resident of the Fitzsimons Place Apartments. She was explaining how her and her 6 grandchildren, including one who is disabled, were living in an apartment together, how they just painted the apartment and then got evicted this morning. She was saying how the stove in her apartment wasn't working, so she wasn't able to cook for her family, and the apartment managers weren't coming to fix it, so she said, well, I'm not going to pay rent if you're not going to fix the stove. And then I think she said they finally came and fixed it. But, you know, her plan now, she said, she set up a tent in a park. So she said she's on the housing waiting list. I believe she said with the city of Aurora. So she's on the waiting list, and until then is unhoused with her and her 6 grandchildren, including one who has a disability. There are still dozens of former residents of the apartment complex here at the intersection of Oswego and 16th, which is about a block away from the apartment complex. There are still about 100 law enforcement officers. There were 2 porta potties dropped off near the apartment complex, I'm assuming for the law enforcement officers and code enforcement officers and all of the types of officers that are inside and around the area. The police have set up a wide perimeter around this whole area for a few blocks, I believe on all directions. They have put yellow police tape up, as well as parked their vehicles in the way as blockades. The mobile command center is still up. The K9 unit trailer is still there. community members and community organizations continue to bring supplies such as food and water and more tables and other types of resources.
Oh, I was distracted.
Ignoring all of these people as they're telling you, you need to be shameful.
An XL Energy truck just pulled out of the parking lot. I'm assuming they were helping with shutting off or disabling some of the utilities inside the apartment complex. So there is the City of Aurora Mobile Command Center, still right across the street from the apartment complex. The K9 unit trailer is still there as well.
Take home when they use the operate that. Give it to people and take the
They brought him from the office. Look at his button. Not even a button up, it's a fucking polo.
If you're off your baton!
Your wife that you're abusing?
Keeson Landscape is one of the contract workers, evidently. They are the ones who I think were filling up the overflowing trash into those vehicles. Someone with Aurora Communications, or two people from Aurora Communications are on the scene.
Is that the sources? You with Unicorn Riot?
You guys been recording on
Ongoing.
We're looking at some of that stuff. I saw some of it. There's a lot to be exposed, so yeah. You're out here, this is the first time I've seen you, but doing some interesting work here. You might be two opposite sides of the spectrum, but you know, there's some.
You're looking directly at me, I know you can hear me. Is your camera on?
Okay, and I appreciate you looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Shirt with similar designs.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Are either of you spokespeople for the City of Aurora in the two communications polos?
sorry?
Are you spokespeople for the city of Aurora?
Sometimes, yes.
Well, is that what your capacity currently at the moment?
Yes.
I'm just curious what the city's plan is for the dozens of families who don't have a place to go at this moment.
Yeah, so we have some community nonprofits that are working with them to get them into a hotel space as needed. Eligible folks from East Colfax Community Collaborative in particular, and that's ongoing as we speak.
So that's not a city. That's not a city entity. That's a community organization.
Correct.
So I'm curious what the city of Aurora is doing.
So the city's going to pay for those hotel rooms for up through the end of the month.
And about the folks that aren't eligible, where the fuck are they supposed to go?
Damn, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not part of the screening process. I didn't say that.
Sounds like it.
The city's going to pay for the hotel rooms, and they're going to provide the security deposit for
in under
apartments
6
if they can find
days. And then all you can say is some of them might be housed. That's all you can say.
I don't have an answer.
Over 50 families.
Then find an answer.
And can I just know what was your name?
Ryan Luby.
Oh, you're Ryan Luby. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Actually, I don't have one. I might.
Y'all just keep talking out of your ass. Just shut up.
Yeah. Anything else I can help you with? I'm giving you everything I got.
I just wonder why did the city of Aurora only give tenants 6 days notice?
Because the water's going to get shut off today.
Yeah, but you were going to shut off the water.
Aurora water's going to shut off the water.
That is the passive voice. You were going to shut off the water.
I'm not going to shut off the water. Aurora water shut off the water.
Okay, why?
Because that was the decision they made to shut it off.
Right, so why did they shut off the water with 6 days notice?
Because that was the day they chose. I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you why they scheduled it that way.
Spokesperson for the city of Aurora?
I don't work for Aurora Water. I work for the city in general. I don't handle everything.
Aurora Water is an entity of the city of Aurora.
Correct. And I don't know everything that they're doing, but they were scheduled to shut off the water.
So it sounds like you guys aren't communicating, or maybe you just don't have an answer.
No, we're communicating just fine. So.
Okay, so you gave tenants 6 days to get out? Why?
That was the time we set.
Do you think that's humane?
What's not humane is allowing people to live in this building, which is our city manager's deeming unhappy.
Right, but then you can give people an amount of time so
We
they
are
won't be
providing them
homeless.
hotel rooms. We're providing them security deposits for a new apartment. I understand the time crunch. Our city management understands the time crunch. We've made that very clear. We understand the burden. I understand it.
I'm sorry, do you have any way to track to understand where these families are going to end up?
I don't, because that's what we're relying on our very valuable partners at East Colfax Community Collaborative, among others, to try to work with these folks. We don't have the bandwidth or the capacity to handle housing stuff. We're not.
For the housing, for the folks who aren't able to get into a hotel, at least for tonight.
They should be able to tonight. We've lined up, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but we've lined up, I want to say 10 to 15 hotels, a certain number of rooms. I don't know the exact number.
Okay, but for family, like I know one family, a grandmother with 6 grandchildren, she already set up a tent in a park because she I guess she doesn't know about the hotels. Like, is the city going to be like sweeping people who don't have a place to go for tonight?
I can't answer that because I don't know where that person is or what their circumstances are. I have no idea. I mean, I hope that I'm hoping she or whomever can connect with the folks that we have put forth to try to help with this.
Do you have any comment on all the kids out here today who should be at school?
I can't speak to that. We're just here doing our job. This is what the city requires. The city, our city code requires us to enforce city code. That's what this is.
But it actually, according to your public records, you all knew about this since March of 2022. So why did it take so long? And why didn't you give residents
It can take a long time to build up a case on something like this.
And do you think it's possible maybe that next time you could give residents, if there is a next time, more than 6 days? Or
anything's possible.
Do you think that was an oversight on your part?
This is the first time the city has ever had to do an abatement like this.
And you have known since March 22nd, right?
Actually, 2020 is when it comes by.
Okay, 2020, so 4 years that you gave me 6 days.
When the conditions have deteriorated that rapidly, yes, the city manager made that determination.
And where's the city manager today?
He is on a trip with the mayor and some other of our folks to Boston today.
Okay, thank
for
you.
economic development.
Thanks.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
I'm just curious if anything's being done with the owner of the building, because like I don't know if the city can file anything against the owner, but obviously, like, I know you personally have, like, speaking on behalf of the city, has blamed the owner for the deplorable conditions. So I'm curious if anything's is the owner going to be fined, or like is anything going to happen?
The owner is actually scheduled to go to I shouldn't say the owner or manager is scheduled to go to 3 different municipal court trials in our court later this month, and 1 next month as well, specifically related to these outstanding code violations. So we've been building that case for a long time. This is just the point now where the building deteriorated to the point where we said we can't allow people to be here. It's just not safe. It's not fair. So. And
what are the exact I guess violations that the owners or managers are being charged with? Or?
If you give me your card, I'll send you everything I've sent to other reporters, and you can read all the court records.
Okay.
I put them all together just for this exact reason, because I'm treating people like you have questions. But I mean, anything ranging from, you know, the rodent issues to electrical issues to plumbing issues to, you know, missing windows, broken windows. I mean, I was in there last week. There was a kitchen that caught fire and that hasn't been fixed. You know, and that's just not safe. So that's a decision our city managers.
Okay.
But if you give me your card, I wish I had mine. Or do you have yours?
Yeah, I can give you my card.
Okay.
And then you can reach out to me.
And I will we can forward you everything that we sent out. Because it's a lot. I'll tell you that. I worked at Channel 7 for a long time as an investigative reporter, so it was important for me to say, this is everything we've got.
Hey, I'm Michael, and we're in the same communications office, and I'm trying to find an answer about those hotel, because I know we had the flex fund was to help with security deposits.
That's the security deposit.
That was like there's the eligibility werequirement. Yeah, we're going to find out with that hotels about whether there was an eligibility requirement, or if you were literally here on site, we're giving you the hotel space.
And I think there's flexibility there too. This is not an exact science.
Yeah. So yeah, because you know we were hearing, you know, we've had people out saying 6 days isn't enough, and that, you know, you were going to run into a situation like this where people are out and they're not sure where to go. So a week ago, did we have the hotel as an option? No. But now, after hearing what people have had to say about the timeline, okay, now we're trying to find the best remedy we can to help people not be out in the streets.
The hotels came together literally late yesterday, involving some city partners. So
I was going to let you know too, the apartment complex I live in, the management company is over there.
Okay.
Trying to get people.
Well, thanks for answering.
I appreciate it. So seriously, send me an email.
That's crazy. Okay, that's so crazy. You're standing here on that side? The wooden one right there? He was the one who kept telling me media couldn't be on the property, but I kept insisting, well, if you're going to tell me, you should tell the mainstream media, like Denver 7 was still there on the property. And then he went up to them, but yeah, just like very visibly and obviously kept coming up to me more so. But yeah, that's who was doing this. Interesting. That is weird. I wonder if that... Like, I don't know. Did he just choose, like they could choose what baton they wanted? Yeah, and then he just wanted the wooden one or something.
It's like fucking holes and you got the special, like, beating stick.
A community member was just pointing out to me that one of the police officers, who happened to be the main one who was telling me I couldn't be on the property anymore as media, has a wooden baton, whereas everyone else seems to have like the black, I don't know what they're made of, I don't know if they're plastic, but the black ones, but he has like a natural wooden one, which is interesting. There are a bunch of kids drawing in chalk and playing other games, and there's babies and toddlers and school children, all different ages of children here. Ryan Luby, the deputy director of communications for the city of Aurora, was actually on the scene today. I just interviewed him and his colleague named Matt, and they were saying how the hotels that they are providing and through the end of the month are that idea came together last night, I believe is what Ryan said. And so community organizations are also the ones who are actually doing the manual work of taking down people's names to get them signed up for the hotels. I believe it's the East Colfax Community, I forget the exact full name of it, but East Colfax Community Organization is the one who is doing that work to actually get people into the hotels, but the city is going to be paying for them through the end of the month. And they also reiterated that they're going to be paying the security deposits for people to move into new spaces. Thank you everyone who has tuned in. This is Alex with Unicorn Riot. We're still in Aurora, Colorado. I've been here on the ground in this Denver suburb since about 6 a.m. this morning. We started being live and filming at around 6:40, I believe, in the morning.
No, yeah, I went to like the Lunch store, like at The Simpsons. Anyway, you guys want to know about...
Ya, yo voy para allá. ¿Ah?
And police showed up at about 7:15 in the morning. There have been over 100 police officers in the area from all different units and teams. This is a police vehicle leaving the scene right now.
Next. I'll go in, shake their hand, and I'll swing them and be like, oh God! Feel it! You guys felt it? You feel it?
I know Samson.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, can I get your signal?
I'm trying to figure out ways.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Alex with Riot. I'm here in Aurora, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver, Colorado, about a block away from the Fitzsimons Place Apartments. About 7:15 this morning, nearly 100 police officers arrived. Different law enforcement officers arrived at the apartment complex to evict nearly 100 families who are predominantly Venezuelan migrants.
Quit your jobs! Quit your jobs!
The only city workers I've seen who are not law enforcement specifically were our two communications officials, including Ryan Luby. And Ryan Luby is the deputy director of communications for the city of Aurora. Him and a colleague of his were here on the scene. But other than that, there have been some contract workers and just law enforcement officers here on the scene since about 7:15 this morning. Waste Connections of Colorado is arriving now to pick up the rest of the trash and belongings that people couldn't bring with them when they were evicted this morning. The city of Aurora gave a 6-day warning to residents at this apartment complex. The apartment, according to Ryan Luby, the city has actually known that this apartment complex has been uninhabitable for about 4 years. Previously to that information given about 15 minutes ago, it was thought that it was since 2022 because of some city open records or documents that were seen from a multi-family unit inspection that was done in 2022. However, the city has actually known there have been problems with this apartment complex since 2 years before that. Ryan Luby also said in response to why a 6-day warning was given, or 6-day eviction notice was given, his response was Denver Water decided they wanted to shut the water off today. And that was the only response he gave for that, and that he couldn't speak on behalf of Denver Water because he just works for the city generally, not for Denver Water specifically. There are still dozens of community members and former residents of the apartment complex here at the corner of 16th, East 16th Avenue and Oswego Street, which is about a block away from the apartment complex. There are tables with resources and food. The East Colfax Community Collective, I believe that is the correct name, is a community organization that is currently signing people up for hotels. The city of Aurora is going to be paying for these hotels through the end of August. However, it's a community organization who's doing the labor of getting people into those hotels. A resident we spoke with a little bit ago, she's a grandmother of 6 grandchildren who were living with her inside the apartment at the Fitzsimons apartment complex, and she was saying how she's on the housing waiting list but doesn't currently have anywhere to go, and she said she set up a tent in a nearby park that she was planning to sleep in with her 6 grandchildren, one of whom has a disability. However, she might have also signed up to get into a hotel, I'm not sure, but she did say that she set up a tent. And when I asked about that to Ryan Luby, if people aren't able to get into the hotel tonight or any time this month for whatever reason, are tents going to be swept? Are people who were evicted today who now might have to live in a tent outside until they can access new housing, are they going to be swept? He said he couldn't answer that. The Aurora Police K-9 unit trailer is still parked across the street from the apartment complex, as well as the mobile command center. We're going to be going down shortly here in Aurora, Colorado. Thank you to everyone who's watching and tuning in. We covered a press conference at the apartment complex last Thursday, which you can watch in full at unicornriot.ninja. You can also watch an interview we did with community organizer Nate Casa. That is also in that same article where you can find the press conference. And today's whole stream you can find at our website, unicornriot.ninja. It's in the most recently published article on our website. And it's also on our Twitter, our YouTube, Vimeo, Twitch, and Facebook. So again, nearly 100 migrant Venezuelan families were just evicted this morning from the Fitzsimons Place Apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. Not all of the residents are Venezuelan migrants, but most of them are. Many of them are families, so there are dozens of little kids now outside without anywhere to go at this current moment. Police arrived in massive numbers at about 7:15 this morning. At this point, it seems likely that the building's utilities have now been shut off, like the city said was going to happen by 7 a.m. this morning, but I don't think it happened till later than that. Residents were hoping to be able to stay in the apartment complex for 2 additional months so that they could have adequate time to find housing to move into. Yet the city did not comply with that demand and instead moved forward with their plan to evict everybody this morning. I was told as media that I couldn't be on the property pretty early on when the police arrived. I stayed as long as I could on the property and then just crossed the road to be behind the police yellow tape. Community members and other supporters were able to help residents finish moving out of their apartments. I don't know how much time they were actually allotted, but it was only maybe an hour or two extra. And then everyone was forced out, which is why there are dozens and dozens of families on the sidewalk at East 16th and Oswego. Some advocates have said that the fact that the majority of the tenants, of the former tenants, are Venezuelan migrants is a key component contributing to the city's decision to evict. 3 Aurora City Council members have said they believe the migrant Venezuelans who used to live at the apartment complex are part of a, quote, huge gang problem, end quote. Yet there is literally no direct evidence to substantiate those beliefs. It's unclear whether the city of Aurora's Mayor Mike Hoffman agrees with those city council members. However, the mayor did refer to the owners of the apartment complex as slumlords. When I was asking Ryan Luby, the Deputy Director of Communications for the City of Aurora, a few questions earlier, I asked if there was going to be any accountability for the owners of this building, because Ryan Luby, when speaking for the City of Aurora, stated that it was the owner's fault that the building was in such disarray and became uninhabitable. And he said that the owners and managers are going to be facing, I believe he said 3 different municipal courts in the next month or so for the infestations and the other uninhabitable conditions that they allowed to grow and continue in the apartment complex. Because a lot of what people were living with for years in this apartment complex was in fact illegal. Appliances not working, heat not working. I mean, the infestations of rats, of mice, of other types of infestations that were described by people. And the building was in a state of decay to some degree, and even though residents agreed that they should live somewhere else and shouldn't live in those conditions, they still wanted the adequate time to be able to find a new place to live, but they were not provided that. It seems like police are forming a more formal looking line right now. I don't know if that's intentional or they're just standing like that because it might be something they're used to doing, but yeah, if you are just tuning in and missed the majority of the stream, you can watch it in full at unicornriot.ninja. We have been live since about 6:35, 6:40 this morning. So it's been about 3 hours that we've been live covering this mass eviction and mass displacing of majority Venezuelan migrants here in Aurora, Colorado. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you appreciate our coverage, you can donate to our nonprofit independent media organization on our website. Thank you, Chris, for doing back-end support today, and we're going to be going down momentarily.
You know, somebody was saying we had a bathroom. Where did any
Oh, you made it.
There's a gas station. Do you mind riding with her to the gas station? Thank you.
What they say? So they're like, oh, it's not the same. I found